All right. Anybody? Oh, there we are. Oh, I got 9 people in here. Sweet. Hey, buddy. Oh, the dog is being super like, what's going on right now? Let me. Hey, buddy. With hello? No, you gonna walk away? Okay. Hi, James. All right, so we are doing Q&A tonight. So if you guys got questions, holler at me. Handles. Jeff. Yeah, I still got the XC8T. I'm gonna try to get that thing hooked up here pretty soon. Something is weird with this. What is going on here? I know. What is? I don't know why that's doing that. Maybe it'll go away. I still got the 8. I really want to hook it up to the ASV. I got to drain the oil out of the lines and get the heads, the quick connect heads put back on it. Yeah, you guys will be seeing the XC8T on there pretty soon. Hi, James. Hi, Jeff. Bailey. Hi, Alan. Big Al. Hi, Faith. Hi, Donna. Recognize all the names from my comments. Athena, is that how you pronounce your name? Athena? Hi. I think I'd say if I mess it up, I apologize. But yeah, the XC8T will be coming. I actually called the people that made the motor, like the hydraulic motor that spins the plate carrier underneath there. I actually called about that. And that thing has like a high torque motor on it, and it only does like the max it'll do, no matter how much gallons per minute you put through, it'll only do 1,300 RPM. So I really want to see if the 40 gallons a minute helps with keeping it going in the recovery. Hi, Glenn. Hi, Mark. Hi, Raymond. Okay, Athena, that's how you say your name. Love the new machine. Thank you, Alan. I'm liking it so far too. A few things I don't like about it, but for the most part, for what I do, I think it's going to be a good machine for going in the woods. Thank you, Faith. Glad that you enjoy the channel. Western PA. Hi, Robert. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what that XT8 will do on that. If it can help with the recovery and really keep it going, that would be awesome. What's up, David? I'm just chilling on a Wednesday night. Misty is out of town for work, and so I'm here with the dog. He's literally laying underneath the table right here. I just fed him. Can you please say to my wife that I love her and no one else? Yes. To Glenn's wife, he loves you. James, with all the properties you take care of, how often do you run into a homeless encampment or where there's currently been? Not too many this year. Kelly and I cleaned up that one encampment behind that building over there in downtown. We find the trash. We do find some trash here and there, but I haven't run into too many actual encampments this year. Like, I think I did one. And I didn't film it. There was a whole bunch of people involved with that. It was kind of a whole ordeal. I ended up not filming that. It was kind of a cluster, and I did not film it. But we cleaned up one earlier this year. But I don't run into too many. We find some trash here, there. But hi, Robbie. Who makes the new machine? A company called ASV makes the new machine. They actually ASV owns. Or Yanmar owns ASV now. Yeah. So Yanmar, if you see like that mini excavator that Chris runs, that red one, that company Yanmar owns ASV. Thanks, mate. She said that. It's okay, Glenn. I love this channel from her in Sydney. Oh, Sydney. Awesome. Australia. That's so cool. Hey, quick question. Does the recovery time on the brush cutter work better than the last machine? I'd say it's about the same. you got to understand, I'm running that brush cutter now on the low flow circuit of the ASV. On the Deere, I was running it on the high flow circuit. So they're kind of different, but I think it's probably about the same. It seems that ASV, even on the low flow circuit, seems to spin that head really, really good. On the Deere, if I ever ran it on the low flow circuit on the Deere, it would run it, but it just like, it was only good for like kind of knocking down, very light underbrush or very light, kind of grass, or, stuff like that. It didn't do it would just kind of spin. It was probably doing maybe 1200 RPM or something like that. It didn't really spin it that fast, but that high flow, it was kicking. So the low flow circuit, I don't know if it has to do with the pressure coming out of like the low flow that makes it do that. But like when I hooked it up to the high flow circuit at first and spun it up, and it sounded like a freaking jet engine. Like it was spinning way too fast. Like it was going to throw the blades off the thing. I was like, well, I think we're going to do that. So I put it on the low flow circuit, and so far it's worked really, really good. Hello from Wilmington. Oh, okay. You guys are just up the road there in Wilmington. I seen Upstate with the Fecon Blackhawk on his machine. Man, that thing looks like it would shoot. Yeah, the Blackhawk, I really do like the Blackhawk. I do like my Prenoth, but the way, and I've actually talked, when I went to go meet with John to buy that ASV, I actually talked to him about, there's some things with the way that the depth control rings on that Prenoth work compared to the way the Fecon is set up that I like a little bit better on the Fecon. I really do like that Blackhawk. When the Blackhawk first came out, they only made it in like a 90-inch wide head. It was really, really, really wide. That was the main reason I didn't get it, because I really, really liked it. And then like after I got my Prenoth for the skid steer, they came out with a shorter one that's the same size as the Prenoth that I have now. And at that point I was like, man, I really would have kind of liked to have that Blackhawk. If they would have made that size back then, I probably maybe would have bought it. But what's my favorite machine to operate? Probably the mini excavator. I sit in the skid steers, but I really like running excavators and mini excavators, Faith. Like I really like excavators. Love them. I can sit in the skid steer. It doesn't bother me. And I know most people like to watch the skid steer run, but it's kind of cramped sitting that thing. Your visibility is not great. And, the ride's better in the ASV, but still, not great. Hi, Davin. Thank you, Franklin. Yes, I'm doing well. Belmont. Hey, how are you, Eric? I guess I'll join the roll call. I'm in the Southeast Virginia, right at the Carolina. Okay. James. Great. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I was supposed to have a vid go up today, and technical difficulties did not get that up this morning. Typically, I'll start an upload like early in the morning. It'll render all night because the editing program takes like, sometimes 5 or 6 hours for the editing program to make the video, and I'll let that run all night. And then when I get up early in the morning, I'll upload it to YouTube, and that usually takes like 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes to upload a video because they're in 4K. And I'll get Misty to finish the upload around 10 or 11 o'clock. That's why you see my videos go up Sundays around 10 or 11 o'clock. Misty will do that for me. And she was gone today, so I didn't have anybody here to upload it. I was at work all day. So, but that video will be up in the morning. So stay tuned for that. It's actually a 2-parter. We're mulching out a lot in the city. It's a city violation. I had the mini out there yesterday, and then I've got Big Munchie on the skid steer. First job with the skid steer going out there tomorrow to munch out the middle of it. So stay tuned for that. Wilkesboro. I know where Wilkesboro is. Okay, and I know all about Chris and his site. Let's take 18 in Upstate. I love how you three got South Carolina. Oh yeah. Between me, John, and Chris, I think we've got North and South Carolina pretty much covered. So if you want to use the high flow on the ASV, can you just replace the motor on the cutter, or do you have to change the cutter completely? I would probably, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I could. It would depend on if the spindle that comes out. So the motor, so you have the motor, and then there's like a spindle that comes out of the motor, Donna, like a drive shaft, and that drive shaft goes down into like a bearing that actually is what the the blades and the plate carrier are hooked to. So it would all depend on on the new motor, if that spindle would match into that bearing housing to turn everything underneath there. That's a if I needed to do that, that is a possibility. I would probably just end up getting a whole new cutter. That cutter is, I mean, it's got well over 500 or 600 hours on it. It's kind of beat up. The deck needs a little bit of work. I've been welding on it here and there to try to patch it up in a few spots. The front of it's kind of beat up, but it's served me very well. But I would just go buy a brand new one if I wanted to do that. You have a great equipment lineup, buddy. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, very blessed to have the lineup that I do and have the equipment that I have. Hopefully more stuff to come. I'm going to try to, this coming year in 2023, if things keep going well, hopefully we'll be able to invest in some more equipment. Not sure. I'm really trying to get a stump grinder. I really, 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 ever since I've rented that Barretto stump grinder a couple of times, I really, really, really like it. And CCE is a Barretto dealer, so I'm trying to get a Barretto stump grinder. Last I heard, they're having a real hard time getting engines. I think the one I rented had a Briggs & Stratton engine in it, and now they've gone over, I think, to Honda engines, and I guess Honda is having a hard time getting engines, but everybody's having problems getting equipment put out right now. So, or engines or whatever you want, as far, especially in heavy equipment and engines and stuff like that, it's hard to get stuff right now. So, but I would like to get a stump grinder and start doing some of that next year. So we shall see. Can I ask how you got started in your business? Me and Kelly started bush hogging. That's how we got started. We got started with, really, Kelly kind of started this whole thing. My dad, he started bush hogging lots with a Kubota 30 horsepower Kubota farm tractor for some friends of his. And that's kind of where we got started. And then we got the skid steer with the brush cutter and started using that for mowing because it was so much faster than that farm tractor, and it was a lot more versatile when we started underbrushing. And I had the dump truck, and we had the other little John Deere Mini, and we just started doing whatever we could do that paid the bills, literally. So, and then one thing, we just kept doing stuff, and we'd go and just putting the word out as best we could, and we were just very blessed to keep working. And my market is really small down here, so I've been very blessed to be able to keep working. I can tell you that. I wish I was in a bigger market like John up there in Greenville. In that market, the market up there is so big. I mean, the work is just everywhere. Down here in little Horry County, Myrtle Beach, it's just not the same type of market. So CPS purposes, change the motor. Yeah, I might. We'll see. I'm liking where the head is at right now. If I get into some of the thicker grass, I'm going to be putting that cutter through its paces here in the next few weeks, and we're going to cut some really, really thick lots with it, and we'll see how it does on those. The couple lots I've used it on were kind of not really all that bad, but it did do well. Thanks, Jeff. That'd be nice. Wish I had come to America. Yeah, that'd be cool. Is Kelly a family? Kelly's my dad. If you guys hear me refer to Kelly in the videos or see him around in the video, that's my dad. My dad has been a licensed general contractor in South Carolina since probably close to 40 years now, since probably around the time I was born. I'm 37, so it was before I was born. Upstate Brush needs a Class A CDL driver. Yeah, I think John mentioned that to me as well. Would that be a walk behind stump grinder? Yes, Mark. Yeah, a walk behind. The Barretto is like a tracked one that you just walk behind, and I really like it. They make two models. They make a 30 horsepower and a 37 horsepower. I've rented the 30. I really, really like it, though. If I had my choice between the two, I'd probably go ahead and just go to the 37 just to have a little bit bigger one. But the 30 is a really nice little machine. Got to run, buddy. Glad to say hello. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you hanging out. And CPS John has a Class A. Glenn, my wife, no, Missy and I are not married, not yet. Very soon, though. Hey, Dirt Boss. What's up, man? How are you? Good to see you. Glad you dropped in. So I got to say hello to the dog down here. He's like literally right under my feet. Another good question. Are you going to do the turkey videos again this year? To turkey. Oh yeah. Christmas. Oh my gosh. If you guys knew how long it took me to make that video, I had to kick Misty out of the house for like a whole day. I was like, you have to leave. I can't film this while you're here. And oh my gosh, I would be holding the camera trying to like film something and say it and just bust out laughing in the middle of a line. The outtakes on that would be a whole video all into themselves. It took me forever to make that whole thing. It was I had to write a whole script. It was a whole thing. But that was a lot of fun. I'm glad people got a kick out of it. But yeah, that was fun. But it was a long day of filming to make that video. She asked, can you do yeah, we'll get Misty in a piece of equipment. I've had her on the Mini a couple times. She's trying to learn how to dig on the Mini a couple of times. I don't know if I'd want to put her in that thing with the mulcher. She might grind me up in it, but yeah, I'll try to do something, with that. He needs a driver for part-time for the log truck. Okay. About the bush hog attachment with the excavator from Right Manufacturing. I love it. Okay. That was hilarious. Yeah, it was funny. I'm glad everybody got a kick out of it. It was fun to film it. You're not doing any clearing for the state, like power lines? No, I've not been doing anything. I don't really do anything for the state itself. I don't. I'm on their distro list. Like I'm a registered South Carolina. Like when I got in business, I went and like did the whole thing to set up to be a vendor. But I don't think I've actually ever done anything for the state. Sometimes every now and then I go on there and check their bids, but a lot of it's like road work and stuff. It's all kinds of crazy, really big project stuff. Road work, drainage improvements, all kinds of stuff like that. Are the beavers still a problem? Yes, Eric. I think the beavers are probably down on our impound are always going to be a problem. I might try to go in there and find some of the dens this year and burn them, but we'll see. I haven't been down there to hunt any lately. We have a bigger problem with hogs right now than here. I'll show you guys on my phone if this shows up. Kelly sent this to me the other day. Here we go. Maybe you guys can. I'll see if you guys can see this. So this is on a cam. Can you guys see that? Hogs. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there you go. Piggies. We have wild hogs. Lots and lots of wild hogs on our farm. And so the wild hogs are a serious problem. As a matter of fact, my landscaper buddy Greg and his dad are actually going out there to the farm on Friday to sit in tree stands to try to hunt. Maybe they'll kill a couple of them because they're everywhere. They really interfere with the deer hunting out there because in South Carolina it's legal to hunt over corn piles for deer, and you'll put out corn for the deer, or you'll have an automated feeder that'll put out corn. And the hogs will come in. You can put out 100 pounds of corn and, 8 or 10 hogs will show up and they'll wipe it out in one go. So I'm surprised the flail motors and rotary decks use direct drive PTO or hydraulic. Direct drive PTO. Okay. Why not electrical drives? Probably because there's not enough power. I don't think you would get enough power out of the machine for electrical. Here in Delaware, yeah, I think they do contract out some of that work. Some of the power companies here are privately owned, I think. Like Santee Cooper is privately owned. So I think I don't know if I'm a vendor with them or not, if I'm registered with them. I'd have to check. I know I am with Grand Strand Water and Sewer and with the state, but I don't know about that one. Yeah, these are actually kind of small hogs. These hogs are actually kind of small. I've got a picture on my phone. You guys will give me. There's a monster hog that a friend of mine killed. I don't know if I can find it. I'd have to find it. But he killed a massive hog, I think 2 years ago. I'd have to find it on my, did I just see it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Check this hog out. This was killed down near Georgetown. And a friend of mine killed this a couple years ago. I mean, that thing can barely fit in the back of the pickup truck. So I don't even know how they got it into the pickup truck. The hogs we have that we've seen, they're like 130, 150 pounds, something like that. That one I think was like 300-400 pounds. You just hand around on the beavers, make sure they get the thing. Yeah. Most of the hogs we have are sows. I think in that picture I just showed you with all the little hogs, there's one razorback in there, and then the rest of them are sows. Raymond. Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, that's a big hog. 450 pounds. I can't remember how much they said he weighed. I think he was somewhere in that 400-pound range. I don't even know how they got him in the back of the pickup truck. I mean, he was huge. If you pick up that type of job, would you pick up extra help, Mark? I don't know. It would depend on the job. I really don't know. It would really just depend on the job, and what was required. I mean, if it was that big, where I'd have to go and hire extra help, I don't know if I would get anybody or not. So I'm gonna grab a water. Hold on. I don't know if I would. Yeah, after they go wild, they're called boars. Yeah, that's right. Hold on, who's at my door?
Hi. I think my boyfriend took this and they put it to the wrong one. 2-3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no clue. I saw it in their house. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, this is us. Thank you, brother. All right, sorry about that. My neighbor got our mail by accident and just rang my doorbell. Yeah, they're called boars. The males are called boars. Yeah. Yeah, the sows can give birth to a lot of piglets. A couple years ago, one of my buddies killed 2 females, and we were over at the hunting club next to our farm over there hanging out with him, and he cut that sow open and like 6 piglets dropped out. 6 or 8 piglets dropped out of her, and that was kind of nasty, but that's what happens when you shoot those hogs. It's hard to find help. Nobody wants to work. Yeah. I know a lot of people are, especially when it comes to like landscaping and stuff like that, doing the type of work that we do. It's hard work. You're out in the heat. You're in the woods, bugs and snakes and heat and humidity, and you get dirty and nasty, and it's just, it's hard, man. You really have to love it. You really have to want to do it. It's something I've talked with my landscaper buddy Greg a lot about, just doing this kind of work. I mean, people get jobs working for landscapers and they show up, and then, they've never done it before, and then they go out and they work all day doing it, and it's like, this is not what I expected. What did you expect? It's like, cutting grass and doing all that stuff and doing landscape and, land work it's hard work. I do lawn care in Ohio, and I've seen hogs around jobs and the sites I work, but those things make all the hogs in my area look small. Yeah. You need a hand, hit me up. I'm in Hemingway. Okay. I know Hemingway. I've been out there a few times for stuff. Could you do a video a day in the life of you? It's not much my life really isn't that interesting at work. I mean, you guys see the most interesting part of it. Doing the jobs, that's probably the most interesting thing. The rest of it's pretty mundane. I get off work, and most nights, at least almost every other night, I come home, I take a shower, and then I sit on the couch for like 2 hours, and I just edit. I'm just edit all these videos because I do all the editing myself. I do all the videos myself. So sometimes I get home, I take a shower. Thank God Misty likes to cook, and she's a great cook as well. Thank God for that. And she typically handles dinner. And if she doesn't feel like it, we just DoorDash. I sit on the couch and edit. It's not very exciting, I can tell you that. Desville hours pickweed though. You do a great job. Thank you, Glenn. I really appreciate that. I do my best to try to make these videos. If you guys are going to take time to watch the videos, take time out of your day to watch them, I want to make them worth watching. So I try to do my best to edit them. I know I get a lot of comments. Some people just like the time lapse. Some people like the first person view. Some people like the third person view, but not time lapse. So I try to change things up and do, a lot of different things just to kind of satisfy everybody. I try to watch what other people are doing. I've taken a lot of inspiration from guys like Dirt Perfect makes really great content. Captain Kleeman makes really great comment. Obviously Andrew Camerata makes really great content. Brandon over at Elite Earthworks makes really great content. So I watch a lot of people on YouTube, and I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different people on YouTube trying to just do different stuff with the cameras and the time lapses and just try to do different things. Some stuff with the drone if I'm working out someplace where I can actually fly it. So I try to make everybody happy and just make the best content I can so you guys are, enjoy it. Well, at least you ain't doing schoolwork. I know, Jeff, thank God. Yeah, no more school. No more graduate school. Oh, thank goodness. My son works in a country club. They don't have the same problem. Works one day and don't come back. Yeah. I know many people love the music selection. Thank you. I try to change it up. I get most of my music from YouTube has a little audio library where you can get music from. People put like basically copyright free music in there that you can download and use. So that's where I get most of my music from. I love the no time lapse. The video that was supposed to come out today that will be up tomorrow morning has got some time lapse. It's got some first person view. It's got some third person with no time lapse. So you're going to get a little bit of everything in the video coming out tomorrow. So hopefully everyone will really like it. You run into wasp bees lately? This year has been good. I remember in 2019 when the first year I went into business, I think it was 2019 or 2020. One of those years, I got tore up bad by the bees. It was like every other job. I was running into yellow jackets and stuff and just getting eat up with them things. This year, it was just like that one job where I had one job, where that house was. I was trimming that palm tree and some wasps came out of that palm. None of them got me. And then I got stung by a ground bee on that roadway, on that roadway clearing where we did the retention pond. I cleaned up that fence line next to the road. I was moving some concrete pipe over there, cleaning up some abandoned concrete pipe, and I rolled one of them over and some ground bees came out. One of them got me in the shoulder, but luckily this year has been very good with no wasps and bees. Finally got my 260, my TB 260. I'm really awesome, Franklin. I really like the Talk mini excavators. I had to take Greg, my buddy Greg, landscaper Greg. I had to take him a load of stone this morning, and he was actually putting in a loading dock. He's doing a loading dock job for the new local Takeuchi dealer. And they were over there running a 290, lifting these big concrete blocks up to make this loading dock. It was really cool. I didn't get a chance to hang out with him. I really wish I would have had a chance to go there and hang out with them today. But yeah, 260 is a really nice machine. I know Brandon loves his. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? I always get done with my work, and my wife can't peel me away from my phone, so I'm always watching you in Upstate Brush Control. Always waiting for the next one. Thank you, Raymond. Yeah, I know the feeling. I come home, and if I'm not editing, I'm on my phone. Missy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching so-and-so do whatever on YouTube. I'm the same way. Trust me, guys. I watch a lot of people too. The one was a bald face. Yeah, last year bald face hornet got me. Ouch. Yep. Is a yellow jacket a wasp? No, we have in where I'm at in Myrtle Beach, Horry County, South Carolina. Yellow jackets are one thing, and wasps are another. Wasps are usually like a brownish red color, and they're a little bigger. The wasps are typically the ones that you see that have like the little nest, like, you go out on your porch and they've got their little nest up there and a little honeycomb looking thing, or then like they'll make like a big paper mache looking thing. Those are typically your wasps. And then like the yellow jackets are little, they're kind of smaller, and they're literally yellow. They're like yellow and black. And they are vicious, and you find them all kinds of places. They like hollowed out trees. They make ground nests. They'll make a nest in the ground. They'll hollow out a section in the ground and make ground nests, especially in the wintertime when it starts to get cold. So, yeah, they're different. Let's Dig 18 is my hero. He and I work a lot alike. Always happy thinking ahead. Yeah. Chris is really he probably knows more about excavation and stuff like that than I'll ever know in my life. Bald and that and a bald face hornet. Yeah. I never really knew about bald face hornets until I got stung by one last year. And then I was like, that's a bald face hornet. And I had to actually look it up. And I was like, oh, okay. I never even knew that was a thing here. I've always known just wasps and yellow jackets. I like the mixture of both regular and time-lapse videos. Okay. Thank you, Athena. Well noted. I like to change things up for everybody. You have the best quality videos. Thank you, Kyle. I do everything in 4K now. And that's why it takes so long for the editing program that I have on my computer to, like, once I edit everything, the program actually has to make the video. Like it has to, what I call rendering, it has to render the video, actually make it into the video file. And that, like, because it's in 4K, there's so much data there. It takes sometimes they take 6 hours. And then uploading it to YouTube, because I don't have super, super fast internet, an upload will take 4 or 5 hours, but it's in 4K. So if you're watching it on a big screen, it really, really, that detail really shows up on a big screen, like a plasma or something like that, with the 4K. What is up with GyroTrack? I don't know. I mean, I know GyroTrack is here in South Carolina, but I really don't know a whole lot about them. I see their machines are, here and there around, but they're not as common. They have a few dedicated machines. I've seen one here or there going up and down the road, like on a flatbed. And I think I saw one out on a roadway clearing for the state a couple years ago. But I don't see very many of their mulching heads, like a skid steer mulching head around very much. Great video, sir. Hello from Pucks to, how do you pronounce that? I know that's like where the groundhog is, but it's like Punks to Wani. I got you, Jonathan. I got you. I know you're where the groundhog is, I think. They seem to have the best product, but nothing on YouTube. I don't know if they're good or bad. I've never really used one. I've never really even talked to anybody who's got one and used it a lot. So I don't really know. I don't really know much about GyroTech myself at all, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. I really don't know. Love your videos, bro. Thank you. David Miller, how come GyroTrack does not use people like you to? I don't know, David. I mean, I've seen their videos on YouTube. I've been on their YouTube channel, I think they do have one guy as a contractor that they are working with, but I don't know if he's an actual YouTuber. I think they just made some videos with him. He seems to really like their products. Like I said, I don't know enough about them to know if they're good or bad. Like I said, I've never even talked to anybody that runs a gyro track head, so I don't know. And like I said, like someone else said, you don't see a lot of people on YouTube using one, so I don't really know. Love your content. Is the skid steer still for sale? No, the John Deere is gone. It's sold. Man, I put that thing on Facebook and it sold in like a week or less. A kid actually just down the road from my parents' house up in Apex, North Carolina. So my mom and my stepdad live up in Apex, and a kid up there in Sanford bought that machine. He came over to my parents' house and checked it out, and he bought it. Let's Dig 18 and Dirt Perfect on our friend. Oh, thank you, Glenn. Yeah, I like both of those channels well. Watch them a good bit. I don't watch every video that everybody makes. I don't have the time to do it. But if they're ever doing I try to take time to watch, something every day on somebody's channel. What is the count on tripods that you've killed now? I want to say like 3. Yeah, the one I'm using right now is about half broke as well. I've got a brand new one. In the truck, and then I've got that 20-footer. I haven't used that yet, but it might actually go out on that mulching job with me tomorrow. That might be a good one to use out there. I haven't used the 20-footer yet, but I think I've killed like 3 tripods at least. Okay, Jonathan. Punk so Twan-me. Yes. Home of the groundhog. I think I got that right. Thank you for spelling that out for me. I appreciate it. He got to go. Yeah, I think he did. I think the John Deere was a really good machine. It was paid off. And if I could have kept it, I really would have liked to have kept it. I just couldn't financially keep it and make that deal for that ASV work without having to sell it. But I really, really did want to keep it. It was a great dirt work and grading machine. Super strong, would lift damn near anything. I mean, that thing, even at 85 horsepower, that thing. I remember one time I got the little John Deere 35 stuck. This was like a month or two after I got that John Deere skid steer, and I got the John Deere 35D Mini. That thing weighed like just shy of 8,000 pounds. I got it stuck out on the impound one afternoon, and we went over there. Kelly and I hooked that thing up to the front blade on that thing, and it literally picked it up. Like when I say it picked it up, like the only thing touching the ground was like the ass end of the tracks on the ground. Like it picked it clear up off the ground just about. That thing was a super powerful skid steer. Hi from cold, wet, southeast Australia. Love your work. Thank you, Sam. A lot of people from Australia watch me. I think that's really cool. Would love to come to Australia sometime and actually check that place out. Sydney looks like a beautiful place. Have you tried the gyroscope mount? No. I don't think so. Hey, how you doing from SoCali? Just woke up, tested my driving skills last night. Drove from Denver to Riverside. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a drive. Speaking of driving, Misty and I will be at the GIE Expo. It's now called the Equipment Expo. It used to be called the GIE Expo, but it's in Louisville next week. The expo is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What is it? I think it's the what is it? The 19th, 20th, and 21st. I will be there all day on the 19th and the 20th. And then we're leaving on the 21st. So if you guys can make it to Louisville, I'll be walking around the GIE checking out all kinds. It's a big landscaping and equipment expo, all kinds of stuff there. Anything from mowers, hand tools, power tools, landscape stuff, probably small, heavy equipment, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm going to be walking around for 2 days just nerding out, talking to people. I got hold on, I'll show you guys something. So I ordered some stickers, and I will be giving out stickers walking around the GIE Expo. So if you guys see me, I've got I ordered like 500 of them. So I've got a ton of stickers. I will be giving them out to anybody that wants one. Even if you don't want one, I'll probably give you one anyway. But yeah, got tons of stickers. And so Misty's working on some merchandise stuff. So for 2023, hopefully we're going to have some stuff coming out. But stay tuned for that. Tony, hello from South Texas. Love the work to you. Thank you, Tony. Love the drone. Yeah, I like the drone stuff too. That's always fun. YouTubers take out a lot of tripods, maybe some yellow and orange paint in order. Yeah, we do kill a lot of tripods, I think, especially when you're doing mulching work and brush cutting and stuff's flying out of that thing everywhere, and the tripod's right there in front of you. If one was to get into the mulching jobs, what advice would you give for a first timer? Oh man, there's a lot of advice to go through. Somebody called me the other day about wanting to get into mulching work, and I think I had an hour conversation with him on the phone about all the ins and outs of getting started. And here's the thing, I kind of explained to him, I did not get into business mulching. I didn't even know if I was even going to go into mulching. We got into business bush hogging and mowing. And then that turned into underbrushing. And then, I just happened to have a job come along where I needed a mulcher. And so we went and bought the mulcher for the Mini, and obviously I bought it. I had to put it to work. So I started, advertising it, and, more work came along, and then, we got the mulcher for the skid steer. So my original plan was just to go wherever the market took me to go. We were doing mowing work, we were doing bush hogging work, and, I was doing landscape supply with the dump truck. So I just kind of went where the market took me. If it had taken me into excavation, maybe I'd be doing more excavation. It just didn't take me in that direction. So, when Kelly and I started this 3 years ago, I never really knew if forestry mulching was going to be the route we were going to go or not. I really didn't know. My mom hate me. I'm on my phone all day at work watching YouTube instead of working on my mouth. Mark, great vids, bro. Thank you. How often do you change the teeth on Munchie? The last set on Little Munchie lasted somewhere around 250 hours. Mostly because when you're mulching with the Mini, you'll top a tree or whatever, and then you grind down. So a lot of times the teeth are doing a lot of the grinding, not on the ground. And, the stuff that really wears on the teeth, the sand, the rocks, or whatever, is on the ground. So the last set I got like 250 hours out of. The set I've got on there now have taken a beating. Seems like every job I go to, maybe because I've just done a lot of work in the city this year, but it seems like every job I go to, those teeth hit something metal, or they hit a rock, or they hit something that just wears them down. So I'm probably going to get 150-ish hours out of those teeth on the Little mulcher this year, maybe. But the last set lasted well over 250 hours. So, Davin, you need to come and visit me in south of Byron Bay, Australia. Yeah, I would love to come to Australia. I know Misty. I think Misty has been to Australia. I know she's been to New Zealand. She raves about New Zealand. And I'm pretty sure she's been to Australia as well. Hope Misty will be able to keep up with you. Yeah, she does a really great job keeping up with me, because I'm off the wall every day with all the stuff that I do between work and YouTube and all the other stuff. Too bad I'm going to the Equipment Expo. Okay, later, Jeff. If you are going to the Equipment Expo, hey, let me know. Hit me up. Let me know if you're around. I'll be there. So, but yeah, just wanted to do a little live stream with you guys tonight to see if anybody wanted to New Zealand's just across the ditch from me. Yeah, I know. The only thing that would make me not want to come to New Zealand is that plane ride I hear is like 20 some hours or something like that. If I'm going to New Zealand or Australia, whatever, I'm going for like at least like 10 days. I'm not getting on a 20-hour plane flight just to come back in like 2 days or 2 or 3 days. I ain't doing that. I'm going to take like 10 days off from work and I'm going to go and stay for a while. Oh, you're not going, Jeff? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I didn't really know if I was going to go this year or not, but we just kind of made plans to go, and I kind of cleared my schedule, and we said we're going to go. I'm also, unless anything drastic happens, my plan is to go to Con Expo in Vegas in March. I know a lot of guys are going to Con Expo. A lot of the YouTubers are going to Con Expo. I know Brandon over at Elite Earthworks is going, and I know Dirt Perfect, Mike over at Dirt Perfect is going to Con Expo. I know the last one, they do Con Expo in Vegas every 4 years. I know the last one, I know Dirt Perfect went. I know Captain Kleeman went. I don't know if Captain Kleeman's going to this one, but I know Dirt Perfect is going. I've talked to him about it, and I know Brandon's going. So, how do you price out your jobs? Most of my jobs are hourly. I do everything hourly pretty much because I feel like that's the fairest way to price my jobs for my customers. You know, I price everything hourly and I charge for what I do. And that's pretty much how I do it. A month would be better. Yeah, that'd be nice. Hey, chat. But yeah, everything's hourly. So for the most part, typically I've been doing this a while now. I kind of know my production rates. So I'm typically able to give people pretty good idea what my hours are going to be. Typically, I'm typically pretty close. Within a few hours, I can kind of tell, how long something's going to take. And sometimes I'll do what I call not to exceeds. I'll do like, I'll have a really good idea about how long something will take, but but there's always like maybe 4 or 5 hours, kind of like in there. And then I'll say, kind of help the customer. Cause sometimes the customers, when you do stuff hourly, they're like, well, if it takes way more hours, they don't want some bill that's way past what they thought it was going to be because you were there way more hours than what you thought. So I'll do what's called a not to exceed. And I'll say, all right, I'm thinking this is going to take, let's just say 8 to 12 hours. And let's just say that's X amount. And I'll say, okay, but maybe if it took me more than 10 hours, I won't charge you more than Y. And Y is usually maybe 20 or 30% more than X or something like that, so. Tri-Star Digger, greetings from Southeast Tennessee. I agree with you what you said about go with the market growing in the direction the business is headed. Yeah, you got to go where the market takes you. As long as it's something that you can do and you're comfortable doing, go with it. If you've got the equipment to do it and you've got the experience to do it, like I had when I got in business, I had that mini excavator and I was like, maybe I'll get a lot of calls for excavation work. I never did. I just never got any calls for anybody. And I put it out there and nobody ever called me. No plumbers ever called me to do electrical line stuff or electricians. No concrete people ever called me to do footers, like nobody. All that, like a lot of the stuff that you see Brandon do over at Elite Earthworks, nobody ever called me about. And I think most of that has to do with the soils that we have here. Like if you see Brandon, he's always digging in that hard ass rock and stuff. It's a really hard digging. You need bigger machines. You need a 6-ton or sometimes like that 2150 to dig like footers and electrical lines and stuff like that. Utility lines for it. That's really big, expensive equipment. And then you got to have the stuff to pull that stuff around and transport it around. All that's a lot of money. Where he's at, it's probably just cheaper for like the electricians and the plumbers and the concrete guys to just call him and come out and dig the footers. Here, we have nothing but soft sand because I'm like, the beach is 5 miles that way or whatever. It's all beach sand. It's all just sand. So the guys around here doing like footers for houses, concrete footers, they're digging footers all day long with 2.5 ton machines. I see them all the time. They're out there with a John Deere 26 or Bobcat E26, or even the 1.5 ton machines, a Cat, 1.7 or whatever, 301.7 or whatever that thing is, or whatever, they're out there with little machines digging footers all day long, because that's all you need. So you don't need a big truck, and you put a machine like that behind an F-150 and a decent utility trailer, and on you go. You don't need real big equipment here to do excavation work as far as doing trenching and utilities and footers and stuff like that. And we have no basements here either. It's all sand. Nobody digs any basements. We don't have a lot of ponds here either because it's all sand. So it's really hard to get the ponds that we do have to hold water because it's all sand. We don't have any of that clay to make those good pond dams with here. So it's just excavation's just not what just didn't take me that way. So Robert, thank you for dropping by. Appreciate it. What was the best and worst job so far this year, Davin? Oh man, that's a good question. I really don't know. I don't know if I've had a worse this year. I would say last year, the Yellowstone job, if you guys remember that, where I had to bush hog like that, 16 acres. And the one that I just recently recut with the ASV over there, that 4 acres, that 4 acres wasn't that bad, but the property behind it, that 12 acres that I had to cut like last November, December, or whatever it was. Oh man, that just about made me want to quit doing what I do. I mean, having to weave through all those trees and sit in that skid steer doing that, because so you got these big trees out there in this lot. And I mean, these are all big, mature pines and hardwoods. It's all stacked in there really close together. You're weaving through all that stuff. And every time you go by a tree, one of these big trees, the roots are out all around the tree. So here's your tree right here, and you go by it with the skid steer, and you're going over those roots on that hard bottom, rail, undercarriage on the bottom of that skid steer. And it's like, doop, 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 as it goes over those, lower rollers on that track system. And you just sit in the skid steer. And every time you go by a tree, you literally just, and then you go by another tree, and it's boop, 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 boop. And I mean, like by the time after 4 hours of that, just constant, I mean, literally I would go over some of those routes, and I'm getting thrown up out of the chair of the skid steer, and I'm trying to be careful, and it just beat me up. That was the worst. That was definitely the worst job. I did that. I think I did that back in December when we had to do that back area back there. I think it was like 12 or 14 acres or whatever it was. It was horrible. I could not wait for that job to be over with. I could not wait. I was thankful for the work, but it was not fun. Not fun at all. So, that was that. Best job? I don't really know if I've had like a best job. I will say going back out there to do that pond clearing, the one that I mulched, and then everyone gave me hell about because I left the wax myrtle sticking out, and I was like, well, I can't mulch them, because they'll fall into the pond. And I went back out there with the bucket, about a couple of weeks later, and ripped all that stuff out. That was a really fun project, actually. I don't get to do much work with the bucket, doing like brush clearing like that. And so, going in there with the bucket and the thumb and just ripping out all that brush and those wax myrtles and stuff, that was actually really fun. I actually enjoyed that. I don't do a lot of grubbing. I typically just try to mulch everything in place. Most of the time, the reason why is because I do a lot of work down in the city, and you start grubbing stuff out, and you can get in trouble with, shallow utilities like, internet cable and even, electrical lines and stuff like that. So I don't like to grub stuff out too much. I'd rather just mulch it, and then I don't have to worry about disturbing the ground. But I knew there was no utilities out there around that pond. It was just old country pond. So that was really fun to just take the bucket out there and just start ripping stuff out. It was a lot of fun, actually. That was probably my funnest. What range do you travel for work, and do you calculate that in your bid? I don't travel too far. I'll go down about as far as like the north part of Charleston, like Monk's Corner or Mount Pleasant, but typically, like I just picked up a job down in Monk's Corner earlier this week. I'm going to be doing that, I think, in November. The guy's going to have me set up to go out there. We're going to mulch around the right side and behind the house. We're going to clean up around the house down there. And I added in a little extra for fuel for that, but that's about as far as I'll drive south. I try to keep my work between Horry County, which is where I live, Dillon County, Marion and Dillon counties, which are to the west of me, and then Georgetown County, which is to the south of me. All that's probably 50 miles in any direction, roughly speaking. And as far as going north into North Carolina, I'll probably go as far as like Charlotte, up there. Not quite Wilmington, maybe like halfway to Wilmington is about as far as I'll go typically. But that's kind of where I'm in and around. I typically don't like to be too far. Have you enjoyed doing the odd shed pad or driveways? Yeah, they're okay. I don't mind doing them. They can be a little more tedious than the mulching work, especially the shed pads. But, it's all good. It's all work. But they are laying out that fabric is tough sometimes, especially if it's sunny out and that black fabric gets hot. Woo! Especially if you're doing it in the summertime. Oh man, that stuff, and it just starts radiating heat. It's like it's like being like if you're laying that stuff out and it's like the summertime, it's like just like standing over like black asphalt, just in the heat just radiates up in you. It will, it gets hot. That's the worst part about doing the driveways and the pads, because I do fabric under everything because I want to make it last. I never lay stone on dirt if I'm installing it. So laying out the fabric is typically the hardest part of doing that. But Mark, yeah, just like here in they were all sand and hit water within 6 to 8. Yeah, out at our farm, you can hit the water table in less than 2 feet. You can, like when I put the post in for our pole barn, I think I put those posts down about 16 inches, and I was hitting water at the very bottom. Our water table is very shallow in some places here. What kind of job for you is a real moneymaker? Typically any mulching job, I typically, unless I have something catastrophic happen, like a hydraulic line or something like that, typically the mulching jobs pay pretty well. Because like I said, I do everything hourly, and most of my jobs are pretty small. They're typically 1 or 2 day jobs, and so I typically have a good idea how many hours it's going to take. So, I typically don't underbid anything, or if I do get in a job and I see it's just not going the way I think it's going, I'll notice that pretty early, and then I'll stop, talk to the client and say, hey, this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. We need to reassess, and typically I'll notice that pretty early, like within an hour or two. And then, if they want to stop, then I won't even charge for my time. I'll just be like, hey, this isn't going the way we thought it was going to go. It might be more. If you want me to stop now, I need to know. And you don't even have to pay me for my time. But and so that's rare that's happened, but it has happened. But typically mulching jobs. The snake pond. Snake pond was a fun job. That one paid pretty good. What kind? Let's see, that and causing erosion. Yeah. Yo, what's up, bro? Hey, Seth. How's everyone doing? I'm doing well. Hi from Minnesota. Hi, Carlene. Thank God for air conditioning in the cab. Yes. Yep. Air conditioning is my friend in the cab. That is for sure. I actually watched, so stay tuned for this. Something gave me an idea for a video today. Cotton Top 3 came out with a 1,000-hour review of his KX57-4. I actually watched the whole video earlier today. It was like a 30-minute video just going over his whole deal with his 57-4. His is an open cab. Mine's an in cab or enclosed cab. But they are the same machines. The U55 and the 57 are basically the same machines as far as the engine and the hydraulics. So they're just a little bit different as far as some of the other components on them. But I just hit 1,000 hours on mine since I've owned it. I bought it with 1,080 hours on it, and I just hit like 2,040 hours on it. So I think I'm going to do a 1,000-hour review on my machine and give him some of my thoughts compared to some of the things that he's saying, and address, kind of, either agree or I mostly agreed with most of what he said. I think there was like one thing that I wanted to address on mine compared to his, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That'd be a really cool video. Give you guys some feedback. A lot of people call me about what equipment should they go with, and so I'm kind of known for doing mulching with an excavator or a mini excavator. And that's kind of my I guess to say my niche thing. There's not a lot of YouTube guys out there doing that particular thing. I've learned a lot with that, so I'm going to kind of give some feedback with that a little bit. So stay tuned for that. I may try to do that this week, possibly, or at least film that this week, maybe get it up next week. So my biggest fear in digging is hitting a fiber optic. Yeah. Talking about a bad day. Next time you're on, give a shout out. Maybe. Oh yeah, Anthony, for sure. Are you on Instagram? But yeah, anytime I'm digging, I try not to do any grubbing really in the city. If I'm working in the city, or any city, or around houses or neighborhoods and stuff, I try not to do any real grubbing work if I'm doing mulching work, and I need to, an area that needs bucket work that would typically you would want to grub out. I either try to mulch it or hand cut it and get it out of there. I don't want to try to disturb the dirt. The other reason for that is that we have a lot of lowland here, a lot of wetlands here, and you never know hardly half the time where the surveyors have marked delineated wetland. And oh my gosh, if you go screw up delineated wetland here, they will nail your butt to the wall on screwing up delineated wetlands. You can cut and mulch anything you want in delineated wetland, as far as I understand it. So you can cut trees and you can mulch trees or vegetation, but you cannot dig stumps out of the ground. You cannot uproot the trees, and you cannot divert or alter the natural flow of the water in delineated wetland, not without going through all the permits and surveys and all that stuff with the Army Corps of Engineers. And if you do that, they will make you put everything back the way it was and fix it and repair it, and then they'll fine you. And it ain't cheap. So that's the other reason I try not to do too much grubbing, because you can get in a lot of, I know people, or Kelly knows people that have gotten in some serious trouble with doing stuff like that in delineated wetland. And then the Army Corps comes out, they're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're messing around in delineated wetland? Oh, you're going to have to put all that back, and here's a massive fine. Hi from Western New York. Hi. What is up with your Panthers? Mark, I don't even want to know. You know what? Here's my thing. I hope we don't win another freaking game this season. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're 1-4. We're not beating the Rams most likely this weekend. We're going to be 1-5. And then we got to play Tampa Bay. We'll be 1-6. We're not going to make the playoffs with that. We might as well just lose the rest of all of our games, get the number 1 overall pick, get a quarterback, start over. just like in 2010. 2010 was a 1-win season. It was a dumpster fire. And then in 2011, we got Cam Newton, and we got like 5 or 6 years of like really good prime Cam Newton before he messed up his shoulder out of that. And that was a great 5 or 6 years. I enjoyed the heck out of it. So if we could just not win any games and get the number 1 overall pick or number 2, I'd be cool with that. I'm totally okay with that. It's a loss season. Just call it a loss season. Cut your losses. Let's lose as many games as possible. Race to the bottom. Get the number 1 overall pick. Start over. At least at the quarterback position. I think the defense has a lot of talent. I really like where our defense is. There's a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Our defense is not the problem. And we've got some people on the offense I like too. I do like the new rookie left tackle, Iquanu. Looks like he can play. He's a little raw in pass protection, but he's very good at run blocking. He had a really good game against the Niners. We still have a really good right tackle in Moton. Guard center guard is kind of still a disaster. But I like DJ Moore. Robbie can go. But I keep DJ Moore. I would trade Christian. If somebody came along and offered us good draft compensation for Christian McCaffrey, I'd trade him in a heartbeat. If we get a first-round pick for him, if I was a general manager, I'd trade him in a heartbeat if I get a first-round pick for him. So, but yeah, that's kind of my thought on the Panthers. Glad Matt Rule's gone, but we'll see who they hire. I don't love our owner, but where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years, Sam? I really don't know. Don't know. When I started this 3 years ago, I didn't even know if, I never saw myself mulching. 3 years ago when I first started YouTube, I didn't know I'm sitting here with like 60,000 subs. If you'd have told me that 3.5 years ago when I started this, I'd have laughed in your face. I'd be like, that'll never happen. That is not going to happen. And here we are. So I really don't know. 5 to 10 years, I don't know. Don't know. I'm just thinking about tomorrow. I'm just focused on tomorrow. That's kind of been the thing with me. I just focus on tomorrow. I take it day by day. I kind of have a general outline where I kind of see, where I'd like to go with some things, but I'm going to go where the market takes me. I'm going to go where my financial, allows me to go, and get equipment that I can afford, and go where the market will allow me to go. So right now, I really would like to go to get a stump grinder and see if, I see a market for that here. I think that would be a good investment for me. It would not be a huge investment as well. So I think that'd be a good place to go. Here in North Central, it's very rare to see more. Really? Huh. Wonder why. How many customers keep up with the property after you clear it? You said nothing is killed and grows back. How fast? Typically pretty fast. And that's something that some of them don't keep up with their properties because some of them are actually abandoned. Like Kelly and I cut 2 properties today. One I don't know about, but the other one is that abandoned house on that really big lot that we did earlier this year. We had to go back over there and recut that one because it grew back. We've cut that one since we originally cleared it. We've cut it. This was the second time we've cut it since then. So we cleared it and then we've cut it 2 more times since then because the owner has abandoned that house. So we have to keep up with that one. So there's a couple properties, some of them just need 1 mowing a year and then the city just lets them go and then they'll look at it again next year and see what it looks like. And, they'll send out their notices and do what they do. So, hey, from Eastern North Carolina, where do you work from? I am in Horry County, Myrtle Beach. Digging Life. Hey, what's up, man? My hero. Oh, my gosh, if I'm your hero. I don't know about that one, man. But I appreciate it. Thank you, Digging Life. How you liking your 309, that Cat 309, that thing looks like a beast when it comes to doing mulching and mowing work. Really like to hear your thoughts on that thing sometime. I hope you get, I don't know if you've gotten your Fecon back yet. I know you were looking for a new motor for your Fecon mulcher, but really like to know how that 309 with the dedicated auxiliary does for mulching. You were in the military, weren't you? What made you leave? Yeah, I was in the Army, active duty Army for 3 years from 2011 to 2014. I was with the 10th Mountain Division up in Fort Drum, New York, about an hour north of Syracuse. Was up there for 3 years. I did a deployment to Afghanistan from 2013 to 14. I'd love to do a video on that. I got a bunch of photos on my computer, my time on deployment. So I'm going to try to do a video sometime of that. It was just time to leave. I just kind of had my fill of it. And it was just time to go do something else. So I decided to get out. But I don't really miss the Army too much. But I miss Afghanistan every day. I miss that place every day. I know that's weird to say. But if the Army knocked on my door right now and said, here's your computer, here's your rifle, here's your clearance, you want to go back to Afghanistan, I'd be like, hey guys, I'll be back in 9 months. And, we'll pick up where we left off in 9 months, but I'd go back in a heartbeat. It's okay. Digging Life. It's awesome. Mulcher is still down. I hate that your mulcher is still down. That sucks, man. But I'm glad you're liking the 309. How to determine what you want to charge for mulching properties? I do everything hourly, so I just have an hourly rate. And then I've been doing it for a while now, so I just kind of have a good idea of how long it's going to take. And usually I give like an hour range. I'll go out and look at a property and say, hey, this will take most likely between 8 to 10 hours or whatnot, and I just do everything hourly for the most part. Been trying to track you down to chat. I got an email. I'll send you a DM on Instagram. I'll hit you up on Instagram. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate the support. I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate that as well. Thank you. I'll hit you up, Digging Life. Do you work through the winter? Yeah, I work 365. I do. I still do a good bit of mulching work in the wintertime. I did a good bit this past year as well. So mulching's kind of all year round. Don't do as much mowing, obviously, in the wintertime, but we still do a good bit of mulching. I do a lot of grading. I do more grading and driveways in the wintertime. We get more rain in the wintertime. So any tips for starting a mulching business? Start one where there's a good market. Don't start one out in the middle of nowhere. Start one in a good market, like, where there's a big town where a lot of people who will be there to afford what you can do. Like that's why John, has really, what's really helped him do well. I mean, obviously he does great work. That's really helped as well. His work, him and his guys do phenomenal work. But the other thing is he's in a really big market up there in Greenville. That's a big market. There's a lot of people there in demand for his services, especially when you do good work, then you're going to be in demand. And there's a lot of people up there that can afford to pay him for his services. Mulching is not cheap. That's the biggest problem I have where I'm at is I'm in a small market and there's not a lot of people that can afford what I do. I mean, I go out to a lot of jobs and I price stuff out and I don't get the job because people literally just can't afford it. They just can't afford it. So that's been a problem where I'm at. If you're in a good market like Greenville, like just around here, Greenville, Charlotte, Columbia, Atlanta, Wilmington, Raleigh, places like that where there's a big population, lots of customers. Obviously, you're going to have a lot more competition, but you're going to have a lot more people there that can, afford what you're doing. And if you're doing good work, word's going to get out pretty quick that you do good work, and you're going to get business most likely. So, anyone here in the Eastern North Carolina area that would want to do some mulching? I assume you don't Beaufort County. Where's Beaufort County? BA. Let me look. I don't think so. I don't think I go that far. Is that Beaufort County, North Carolina? Oh no, that's like 4 hours from me. No, I'm not coming that far. Sorry, Brent. That's like 4 hours. Yeah, you probably want to find someone a little closer. Check out Bald and Bankrupt on YouTube. He's done a recent trip to Afghanistan. Okay. That'd probably be an issue for me too. Yeah. Washington, NC area. Yeah, that's a little bit too far for me. But all right, guys. It is 9:15. I got to take the dog out. And I got to get up in the morning. I have a VA appointment in the morning. I got to go in for a little x-ray, nothing major, but the VA wants to check out something. So don't worry, I'm fine. No issue. Yeah, I gotta go to the VA in the morning. But I really appreciate everyone stopping in to chat. You guys have been awesome. Plenty more live streams to come. Digging Life, I will hit you up on Instagram. Yeah, plenty more live streams to come. I'm gonna try to start doing them. I did one like about a month and a half ago, so I'm gonna try to start doing like once a month, and just answer questions for you guys, hit you guys up, and just see if any, try to help you guys as much as possible. Any questions that you've got as far as mulching, landscaping, land service, just whatever you got, let me know if I can provide some feedback or some information to you. I'd love to help you. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate the support, man. Good seeing you live, bro. Stay safe. Good luck with you. Thank you, Raymond. Yeah, no big deal. They're just going to do an x-ray on me really quick on my leg. So I think it's fine. No big deal, but I was like, yeah, I've got a little issue in my knee. And they're like, oh, we're just going to x-ray it. So I'm like, all right, if you want to shoot some x-rays in me, whatever. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Franklin. Goes gold. Cheers. Desert Storm Vet, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Good as gold. Jimbo, thanks for sharing. Stay safe and keep it. Will do. Thanks, Sam. Take care. Stay safe. Good night, guys. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jamie. I keep posting video in the morning, guys. I will have a video up in the morning by probably about 8 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. Really good mulching video with Little Munchie. And plenty more live streams to come. Which, like I said, I'm going to start doing one once a month. I'm going to start putting them up so you guys know that they're happening. The last one I did was just kind of random. This one I actually put up and posted. So I'll put it out there, from now on that we're going to do one, schedule it so you guys know that it's coming. And hopefully as many people can come and join. But I appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you guys. God bless. Have a great night. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I truly appreciate all the support that you guys have given me and the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I do this for you guys, and I cannot thank you enough. Thank you. God bless. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.